Welcome everyone, Sir Heroscape here today, coming at you with an awesome, exciting, crazy hype video, the unboxing of Heroscape Age of Annihilation Wave 1. Yes indeed, you are going to witness my unboxing of Age of Annihilation right here, right behind us. Big old box from Renegade. Thank you Renegade Studios for sending some product for unboxing and review. We're going to dive into it today. Let's not wait any longer. I am super stoked. Just got this box and ready to dig in. So let's get our first impressions, excitement, and all the things. Let's go do it together. All right. See you on the other side. All right, here we are. Just got to cut into the top of the box, and we're going to lift up this box and get this open to see what is inside. Here we are. First look at Heroscape Age of Annihilation Wave 1. We've got some cool stuff here. What do we got? What do we got here on top? We've got battle box, it looks like. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, we have Heroscape exclusive Wellspring Tiles. Premium Painted Edition includes pre-painted miniatures. Okay, so this is the pre-painted versions for Age of Annihilation battle for the Wellspring. That art looks way better in person. And oh, actually, that's not even a picture. That's the actual tile. That's like a see-through. Oh, that's cool. See how it's this is an actual see-through cutout. So at first I thought this was just like a digital image, but this is actually the tile right behind this. Which I think there's a plastic screen, so you can't just poke a hole and then grab them, because then you'd have people just poking through the light plastic and getting them. Okay, so let's tear this thing open. You're getting the real life experience here while I am trying to open this without doing a top-down view. I personally like opening it for you guys to see from my angle, so hopefully that's enjoyable rather than a top-down view. This is a little bit closer. Okay, so the plastic is off. Gosh, what do we got here? Is there a tab? Oh, perfect. Okay, so it looks like here on the, what is that, the right side? Yeah, on the right side of the box, there's a tab right here, so you're gonna pull that. That's gonna be nice and easy. That's actually awesome because that's gonna make it pretty easy to take out. Oh, I didn't even show you the back. Okay, let's check out the back here really quick. Oh, cool. They've even got D20 and dice pictures. Okay, got the logo. Okay, they've got the prepaid miniatures on the back. 3 attack component. Oh, okay, they're showing. Oh, interesting. Okay, how to play. They even add, I didn't realize this. I think they showed pictures of this before on the box, but I didn't realize. Choose your card, move your characters, attack your opponent. I love that. That's a really simple, easy way to kind of introduce and even show a cool card there. I love that. Heroscape, okay, all players take their first steps in an exciting world. Allows 2 players. That's a good clarification. Let's see, the battle of all time. Ward over the, okay, very cool. And the components, awesome. Ages 14 and up, 36, 2 players, yeah. Oh, cool, interesting. I didn't realize that was their symbol for players. Huh. Supports 4 players with the use of the master set. Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, this is cool. Let's dive right in. Again, this is the battle box pre-painted. So we're gonna be getting a first look at the pre-painted version here. Gosh, let me see if I can. Here, let's move the box. Give ourselves a little bit more room. How's that sound? Okay, I gave myself a little bit more room, and I was able to drop it here. Okay, here we are taking it out. Looks like a piece came out. Here's our first look at it in the box. Here we go, guys. Ooh, okay, is that everything? It is everything. Okay, awesome. Wow. Okay, so what do we look at first? Let's look at the oh, it looks like that piece moved. Let's look at the Tagala jungle. Okay, so we've got kind of the top here. Ooh, that is very durable plastic. See how bendy that is? So you've got, this is very much like the originals where you've got kind of the multiple layers of the trees. That is very bendy plastic, very durable. Love that. That's awesome. Okay, same thing. I think these are the same size. Yeah, these are the same size. Okay, that's, oh, and they come out really nice and easy. Okay, ooh, wow. Look at that. So those are very line of sight blockery, I guess is how it goes. Easy to put in. Oh, okay, very cool. So see how that's a unique design to make it kind of lock in a little bit more than just like a circle. Okay. Actually, now something to note. I just put that in. It's a little bit loose. So do be mindful of that. If you really don't want to deal with having that fall out or come apart, you might just hot glue that or super glue. But that, I mean, at least initially, that's fairly loose. So just keep that in mind. This one seems to be a little bit of an angle, but it's bendy enough that you should be able to bend it. So like if your pieces are a little bit bendy, kind of like this, or if this is bent a little bit, see how it's kind of bent, then, you know, you can always just heat it up in like some hot water and then just kind of bend it and reform it. That, see how it's kind of at an angle here. So it looks like it just got bent a little bit. So I'll just have to work with that, maybe just glue it. But yeah, so that's one of the trees. You've got the Tikala kind of look here. This is one of the original plants on the Tikala, and then these are the kind of alien cacti. And that's a very strong line of sight blocker with this walled cacti. So that's looking really good. So we're gonna throw this one together as well. Let's see if this one's a little tighter. Okay, this one's a lot tighter. Well, not a ton, but it's significantly more, it fits a little bit cleaner. So it might just depend on the one you get, whether or not it's a clean fit or slide, but it's nice and easy, not too hard to operate with. So okay, nice. I did notice that it looks like that piece is kind of bent up again. So some of these might, they're very soft plastic, so you might just have to reshape them a little bit, which is fine. Okay, we're gonna test connecting those to a hex here in just a minute, but let's take a look at the figures. Okay, wow. So the base is pretty similar. So this is a Rise the Valkyrie Raylan. In fact, the bases they look exactly the same. If I'm looking at the height as well, I think they're exactly the height as well, from what I can tell. So those should fit in ladders. And the base is, it looks like, cast and printed on the figure itself, whereas the Rise of the Valkyrie, well, not the Rise, all figures previously were pegged and then fit in and glued. These are full figure attachment. Okay, now the paint job on this is actually quite good. This figure looks great. So this is Kita, the Spring Runner, and looking really, really good. I like the size too. It's about the size of a Badgeru wolf. Not bad. Okay, Onshu the Wilkeneye. Wow. I actually really like this figure. I like the size of it. That's really cool. Same thing. Oh, interesting. I think the base is smaller. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we're going to see some pretty significant base sizes. Yeah, okay. So just because the stance of Kita is much wider, you're going to see this is pretty small. Probably half the size. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Big wings. Let's see. Yeah, no, that looks great. Honestly, that's I really like that. This paint job is really good. I like the dark tones. Awesome. Okay. All right, let's see here. Ooh. Okay, actually same size. Same size. Oh, yep. It looks like the same size as Onshu. So the human base this might be the standard size of the human base. So note that kind of like, this is Raylan Rise the Valkyrie. This was the standard size base for like a small medium. Like, look at how small her stance is. Obviously she doesn't need a base this big. So it looks like the standard base size is actually shrinking for kind of your normal humanoid. Because look at how wide her stance is compared to Raylan's. See, this is significantly wider, but a significantly smaller base. Raylan's is a significantly smaller stance, but way wider base. So there are some implications in that gameplay-wise, because if you're going to a smaller base, that actually allows you to hug up against the Hex much better than a wider, because the games state that your base has to be within the Hex. So you can't be half off the Hex, you have to be right up against it. But if the edge of my base is up against this edge of the Hex, that means I can't hide sometimes because I can't push my figure any farther to the Hex. Well, notice Fia Bonnie here, she can hug pretty close up to the Hex, and look at all that free space on the Hex that she can use, you know, to shove up to the edge and hide behind something. So there are going to be some gameplay implications if this is the standard size for your small medium figures, which might be the case. Or it might not even be for the size of the figure. It might just be the base is just going to depend on the stance. I'm not really sure. But anyway, paint job here looks really good. It's a lot of detail. If you look at her legs here, she's got some packs. This yellow, it has a little bit of like shading. It's like orange on top, but then like a soft green, kind of a lime green, some shading, which honestly at first I didn't really like, but the more I look at this, I think it's actually pretty sweet. It adds a nice accent to the figure. And you kind of have that here as well in her inner thigh, calf area. It looks like, but yeah, she's wearing kind of some plate armor here. This is her hair coming through the helmet. The red slits of the helmet's pretty cool. Loving it. This is looking really good. Yeah, the paint job's looking really good. Okay, Iashia. Okay, first impressions. I think it's a little bit plain on the blue initially. This seems pretty plain. I'm not seeing as much of the detail on the blue color as maybe some of the other figures we've looked at, but no, there's some shading. There's like some shading on the inside of the scales here. Overall, a really imposing figure, much bigger than I thought, actually. Like, if you compare Iashia to your small, medium Fia Bonnie, it's actually significantly bigger. In fact, let's see. Is that the same size? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Iashia's base is the same size as the original small, medium base. Okay. This figure is also very thick. Look at how thick the figure fits onto the base. So this is a heavy figure. The other ones have been pretty light. Oops, what can I like the accent of the eyebrows there. I'm not sure if those are supposed to be eyebrows, but it definitely adds the accent as if they are. Maybe it's just colored scales. Not exactly sure, but the miniature is looking better the more I look at it. I like the deep purple. The deep purple looks good. Wow. Very cool. Okay. Iashia. Yeah, looks a lot better in person than I thought in pictures. I will say that. Looks great. Okay. Bach Bernard. Bach Bernard. Okay, first impressions. Not gonna lie, little bit sloppy, I feel like. I don't know. Yeah, it just... He looks like a Morrow in the sense that his body looks Morrowish, and obviously the connection here with the Drudge, with the gun. And the face kind of, but... I don't know. The color is definitely off. When you compare to Morrow, so like I'll pull in a Morrow Drudge here. So like the purples, this is a brighter purple, but notice the distinct difference between, yeah, so here's what I'm talking about. So like the color isn't too bad, it's the deep recesses of the Morrow skin that are missing. See, notice how when you go into the deep recesses of the skin, you get that kind of deeper orange, that kind of brown orange down in there in those holes. deep brown orange. Like on the top, it's kind of a skin color, but you don't get that at all. You're just seeing a dark, what is that, gray, tan, just kind of like shading. So this makes him look a lot more human. So if I didn't know that he was supposed to be Morrow, I would probably guess he's like an undead or like a ghoul. He doesn't have that same color of depth with the orange, like kind of that orange look that you're looking for. So I think a little bit of a miss on the paint job there. Yeah, the purple is close enough. It looks, I mean, I get that it's Drudge, but yeah. Yeah, so first impressions, Bach-Bernard, maybe just a little bit of a miss. Not horrible, still looks okay. Same size, I think, as Fiabani. Yep, same base size. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think he looks better in person than in the pictures. So there's that, but yeah, a little bit underwhelmed by just the coloring. I think I really would have liked to see the deep recesses of his figure with that Morrow orange. So anyway, okay. And we have, okay, Killian does not want to come out. Oh, there we go. That actually wasn't too bad. Okay, Killian Vane. Okay, so his sword is a little bit soft. Not too bad, though. His sword was a little bit bent coming out. No, that's not too bad. Same base size, I think, as Fiabani. Yep, so that same kind of smaller size. His eyes look weird. I don't think he's got any eye painting there. None at all, actually. So that's a little bit odd. I would have kind of expected at least a dot there, like some sort of black dot, or I don't know. I don't know how you paint eyes. I'm not a painter, but that looks, I mean, it's just clear, you know, skin color there. So, well, let's see. Actually, maybe that's, what's Raylan look like? Actually, Raylan, okay, that's fair. Raylan's actually the same. So maybe it depends on the figure. See, because notice how Raylan doesn't have any pupil or eye painting either. So, okay, maybe that's just standard for like human painting. Maybe it's too hard to kind of get that detail with the pupil. But overall, the coloring, okay, I don't like the orange on him. Fia, it actually made more sense just because it was kind of an accent for her, but he's already got this red accent, and I really do like the red and the black. I think that's a really cool accent for a pirate, and the hat is brown, and see, like, that's a cool accent with the red. The orange definitely feels out of place. Not really sure why they chose to do orange on the feet. In fact, those are basically, I'm not even sure if that's the boot color or if that's supposed to be cloth. Like maybe it's like his sock. Like I guess it's his boot. It's got to be his boot, right? But his boot is like these greaves. And then it's like strapped. Yeah, I guess it's part of his boot. So yeah, don't like the orange. I think that's probably not a very good artistic choice there. I may repaint that orange just to like a black or a gray or something. I think the red and black work really well together. I would have preferred that just to be some other earth tone. But yeah, overall, I think he looks really cool. Actually, way better than in the pictures. I really actually like the armor, his arms that are all armored. That actually looks pretty cool. So yeah, looking good. Okay, now let's get to some more terrain. We're getting water tiles and Wellspring tiles. So let's take a first look at that. So we've got pretty translucent, actually. These are basically ice tiles, but let's actually compare them so we can see the difference. So if I were to compare to, oh wow, that's actually really close. Okay, there's definitely a difference, but it's in the speckles. So like you can see the difference. Like it's obvious once you're this close. Okay, and actually the speckles here are much more shimmery. These ones are kind of are like dull. They're like, there's no shimmer, right? These are dull. Okay, so the difference is this is kind of a light blue teal color. This is, you know, translucent, like clear, and this is definitely shimmery. So that's the difference. But it, at a first glance, if you saw these all together on a map, it would still be, I think, slightly difficult to tell the difference. Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, just something to keep in mind and to note. Okay, so the Wellspring water looks pretty great though, and let's see how they all connect. That connects well. There's still a little bit of movement in there. See how there's still like, yeah, the original hexes, they weren't super tight. They were tight enough that you can't just pull them apart, but they were loose enough that, you know, there was a little bit of give. So that's good. And these feel really, really strong or durable, shall we say. So you're getting, what, 8? Where's the 4? Oh, no, 7. Sorry. Yeah, 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then how many water? We're getting 6 water. Wow, yeah, these feel very durable. I really like, and it's the sparkly water. These feel great. Wow. Man, hot off the press, these feel very crisp. I'm just continuing to look at these and feel them, and wow, these feel great in the hand. Okay, so let's okay, so we're gonna compare. So this is a sparkly water from original Heroscape on the right, and this is sparkly water from the battle box. The size is perfect, indistinguishable. If you were to look at them, almost exactly the same. This one seems a little bit lighter, but that's probably just because of some sun damage. This one's hot off the press, so a little bit darker. And then you have this crappy water that is the really brittle stuff from the original set. Just the plain blue, which is just terrible. And yeah, so that's your comparison. So this is the new stuff. Okay, so the water and the Wellspring water, really excited about that. Those look great. Okay, now we're off to the hexes themselves. Let's see, what's the best way to open these? I guess we'll just kind of pull these out here. Gosh. Let's see. I'm glad I'd set this up so I had a better angle right in front of you when I have 2 hands, because these are actually pretty tight in here. My word, these in the hand feel amazing. Like, you can feel how new they are, which is awesome. Like, I've played with these Heroscape pieces, like the old pieces, for so long that you just get used to what old pieces feel like, and you're used to them breaking constantly, and they just feel brittle when they're in the hand. I'm telling you right now, like, this just feels strong, feels durable, feels good. Like, it feels like a new strong piece of plastic. Like, and indistinguishable between the originals here. Well, these are new, I guess, but nice and snug. So let's compare it to an original piece. Okay, so on the right here you have an original piece. On the left here you have a new piece. So yeah, they fit. Again, old piece, new piece. They look exactly the same. And gosh darn it, man, when I start using these new pieces, I'm not gonna know which ones are which. Which isn't a bad thing, it's just I won't know if I'm gonna be mad when if I ever break a new piece, because I won't know if it's a new piece or an old piece. Because yeah, they fit well, they're seamless, and they look great. Yeah. So we've got you get a bunch of stone. Well, not a bunch of, I guess this is still technically a small set here. So you get 3 green hexes, 3 hexes, 2 stone, and 2 3 hex stone, and then you get 4 single hex, 1, 2, 3, 4 single hex, and then 2 stone hex. So that is the terrain combo, and again, these are feeling great. Oh, let's do a quick little review here of the jungle tree. So let's get that attached. Oh, okay, so it's actually pretty snug from what I can tell. Let's see, is it? Oh, interesting. Is there a little bit of a... Huh. Is that getting in the way? That might be getting in the way. So if I put this down on top here, something's getting in the way there. What is that? Huh. Okay. So this is significant. So if I'm building, I can obviously throw it onto. So for example, you throw it onto a hex. It's connected, right? It's connected by all the other hexes. It's not moving, so that's good. It's locked in. But you'll notice it doesn't look flush here. So I'm putting it down here, and you can see there's a bit of a gap here. Oh, and I'm trying to push it down, and I'm not getting it to lock. So I'm wondering if something's. It's got to be this piece, because notice. Oops. Actually, you see that? The top of that just fell out of the top. So that's still pretty loose. So again, you're going to want to probably glue this to this because, yeah, see that? So I turned it upside down and it fell right out. So that's still pretty... Okay, that's actually not too bad. It's holding enough now. Okay. So anyway, it's loose enough you'll want to probably glue that. Okay, so it looks like, if I'm looking at this, the way that this is set up on the inside, this piece is deep enough. That looks fine. This piece is deep enough. That looks fine. I think it's this piece right here. It looks like this jungle piece is what's blocking the hex from sitting flush when I attach it down here. So because I'm going, actually let's switch it. Let's turn it like this. So this is the jungle piece. Can we see if it's, can we see in that space if it's not hitting? I can't exactly tell, but it's it looks like that's what's stopping it. Not exactly sure. Just based off of what I'm seeing, just cause see how shallow that is. It looks like when we're putting it onto the hex, this piece. So you might need to shave this a little bit off. If we were to shave this off a little bit, I bet it would sit flush. So maybe, and you might need to, of course, if you shave that off, you might have to re-glue it. So let's see if I shave that off. Let's see if I shave that off a little bit. I know, you guys are gonna condemn me for this. Live on air, already adjusting the pieces. Let's see though, because that might make it flush. If it's not, then it's one of the other pieces. Okay, interesting. So notice it's not quite sitting still. Huh. So I'm not sure what it is about the jungle piece, because I just shaved off the tip of that, and that's still an issue. So that's interesting. So like, see, when I put it here on here, now we're gonna check the other pieces too. Maybe this is just one default or faulty piece. This one, interesting. Okay, so you'll notice again, it looks like it's still not quite flush. I'm not sure what's causing that still. It's gotta be one of those pieces I'm not sure. These look deep enough. That's the thing. These look deep enough. So I'm not sure what's causing it. I thought it was this, but you just saw me shave off that extra 2 millimeters, and it still didn't work on that other piece. So it might be the size of the hex itself. Like the size of the hex might be slightly off, so it's not coming over the lip of the edge of the hex. I'm not sure on that. So something to note. Again, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but that does seem to be a slight error or fault in maybe some of the configuration. So you know, I'm not trying to you know, bust anyone's balls here, so to speak, in terms of what we're looking at, but there does seem to be maybe a slight issue with the hex alignment on the jungle. Some people were asking what it looks like to have them next to each other, because we had some discussion on 2 jungle pieces being together. It looks like you can, but also note that there is a slight bend. So you're kind of bending the pieces together. So like if you interlock them, so there we go. So if you interlock the tops, that actually works pretty well, because right now that's actually flush. So if I go like this on the hex, and I kind of rotate and do opposites on the top here, and I just go ahead and do this kind of interlock the top of the trees, then the hex down here does seem to connect flush. Obviously the hexes still don't sit exactly well on Heroscape hex like we just discovered, but yeah, gosh, yeah, something's, yeah, see that? See, it almost looks like, oh, and the tops just fell off. It almost looks like man, what am I doing here? Sorry. I'm trying to just see the alignment again. It looks like this piece on the inside here, see how that hex, that's part of the hex underneath it? It looks like the base of the jungle piece isn't getting over that. Like, yeah, so actually look at this. See this? I think this is it. So see how close this raised portion of the hex is? So you've got all this space here, and you've got all this space here. But then when you get to this indent, you have almost no space from the raised portion of this hex to this hex, or to this spot. See, this raised portion is like right up against that piece. Now, every hex is built like that, but I think if you look at the hex of the jungle piece, you'll notice the indent portions here are actually probably wider. So when I'm going and I'm attaching it here, it looks like the wide portion of this jungle piece is hitting that really tight inside portion of that hex piece. So it's not catching it flush when I'm trying to put it on top of another hex. Yeah, that's not happening. I mean, look at how bad that is on this side. So you see this? That's not even, it's not even sitting. Oh wait, but now I can? Oh, look at that. So, see that? I don't think any other hex, that's interesting. So, the hex sits flush. The jungle hex sits flush when it's slightly misaligned. See that? See how it's slightly misaligned? So let's sorry. These are hexes and they're aligned. Now see how it's slightly misaligned on these pieces, but it's flush. So if I try to align it, right, if I'm trying to line it up, it doesn't. See that? Okay, so now let's try to build hexes around it and see if we can. Once it's flush, so I'm gonna keep it flush, and I'm gonna try and add hexes around it. Yeah, see, that's not really work. Well, okay, maybe. No. See, so I added these two hexes on the edge, and even though they're connected, it goes back to being off here. Oh boy. Renegade, I'm sorry to say, but I think there might be an alignment issue with your Tikala jungle piece. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and I hate to be giving a review live like this where I'm pointing out potential flaws. I'm not attempting to sabotage anything. I'm trying to give an honest and correct review of my first impressions. And I'm trying as many different ways. Okay, so I just made it. Oh, actually. Okay. So I just made it flush there by like. Oh, see, but look at. Well. Okay. I guess now it's flush. Did I get it? It's pretty tight though, so let's add some more pieces around it. Gosh. Let's add some more pieces around it. Okay. Like, sorry I'm beating a dead horse. I just really want to make sure I'm providing a good review of what you guys can expect. So, okay, so it looks like after a fair bit of finagling, I was able to, well, so it all connects around it. And if you look down underneath, again, we're looking for that gap that I was seeing, okay? And actually, it looks like after a fair bit of finagling, there is a seamless. Is it still off aligned? No, it looks like it's mostly aligned there. So I think it might just require a fair bit of jostling and man, the problem is I don't know. See, this is landlocked. This is locked by other terrain, so it might work only when it's landlocked like this. Whereas normal jungle pieces are supposed to be able to sit with at least 2 hexes attached, right? So the rule is that you have to have at least 2 hexes attached on 2 sides of a jungle piece. So if I've got, 2 pieces like this, right, and I want to drop a jungle piece here, I should be able to do so. Now, right now, I just straight up, placed this on its own. And again, there's still that, it's still not flush. If I'm just looking at it with just straight up top down, there's still a gap. Now, once I kind of rotate it a little bit and kind of landlock, yeah, see, so what I did was I actually pushed down and then twisted. See, now it's flush because I pushed down and I kind of twisted it to make up for the difference in the hexes. See, notice how it kind of popped back. So I'm going to push down and twist. Yeah, okay, there we go. So now it's flush. I pushed down and twisted, but again, it's flush, but it's misaligned. So you can probably landlock it like I did this one and secure it in a position with hexes where it's going to be fine and it's going to be flush with multiple pieces. But when you're building with like just a couple hexes and trying to add a jungle piece, I mean, notice how this hex right here is not fully flush with this bottom hex. So I'm not going to be able to add a hex attachment here. So for example, if I go here and here, and then I try to add this, This is gonna be, oh, yeah, it didn't like that. Let's see if I can, okay, so it's flush, but notice, see, look at that. See how off that is? So again, we're looking at the jungle piece. I've made it flush. It's slightly misaligned, but I've made sure that it's completely down on the hex. And now that it's completely down on the hex, I add in other hexes around it. And if I add like a 7 hex, that's just off. So your slight misalignment on the jungle piece does have an impact. So you basically have to pull it back in and land lock this 7 hex. So now, see, it's still trying to get away from it. See, this bottom piece is still, so like I can pull it back in, but this is high tension right now. So it'll pop. Yeah, Anyway, I'm beating a dead horse. I'm trying to give an honest review. I'm trying to, provide you as much feedback and openness as you guys can. I'm not being paid by Renegade to give this review. It's an honest review to provide you guys with some opportunity to see the real pieces in real time and experience them. And I'm excited. I'm still very excited about this. Yeah, I'm just slightly concerned about the orientation of whatever's happening with this hex. I think what I'm going to try and do is I am going to try and maybe shave the inside of these hex pieces here. So every indent piece here, I'm pretty sure this is the problem. I think we need to shave those down. So I'm going to try and shave those down. I won't do it in this video, but I'm going to see if maybe that does it. And maybe later I'll have to kind of give some feedback on that. But Renegade watching, I think there's something here. I just think it's slightly misaligned. It's causing it to have issues connecting with other hexes. Again, I place it on its own. Technically, it's flush, but then you look at it, it's misaligned. If I'm trying to align it perfectly with the other hexes, it doesn't want to sit, right? And so the minute that you start adding other hexes around it, once it's flush, because it's misaligned, that's creating other issues when you're trying to build. So anyway, let's move on. All right, well, enough of the terrain and figures. Let's look at the other game components. We're gonna go ahead and open those up. Oh gosh, of course, totally forgot that this comes, oh, that's a nice bag. That's a nice little plastic bag there. This comes with 224 hexes. Ooh, wow. Dang, those feel crisp. Look at those crisp lines. Wow, the 24 hex looks extremely crisp on those lines. So you notice how the lines on this are kind of broken? You see how on the edges of each line, it's not like a straight line on each of these? These are like completely crisp hexes. That's really interesting. So like, if I compare an original, this is an original hex. Notice the difference. See how on the edges, it's a very broken kind of edge to each of these. It's not a straight line, and these are very straight. Wow, interesting. Okay. Huh. Yeah, so this is, I would say that's a pretty, not super significant difference, but it's a definite difference in the way that it was designed. This is a little bit more broken. This is a little bit more clear, which is fine. I think that's okay. I have no issues with that. So those are nice crisp 24 hexes, looking good. Okay. What do we got here? We've got, okay, some wound markers. And what, Glyph of Brandar. Glyph of Brandar artifact. Okay, pretty plain, not gonna lie. The glyph itself is the same design as the original, so this is an original glyph. So same design, looks the same color. The background is a little bit different. This is lighter, probably a little bit less broken or detailed. and a fairly simple simple design in terms of what that's going for. Also notice the text is slightly smaller and it's black, not white. It is surrounded by white though, so it's black text surrounded by white. This is just straight white text. Not sure if I have a preference, but you know, something to note. Same size. Okay, good to note. Wound markers look pretty standard. Got some black markers. I think those are round markers. I actually don't remember. I don't think. Oh no, those are Fiabani's. Those are Fiabani's black markers. Those range markers. Okay, cool. It comes with 6 combat dice, so that's pretty standard. I don't think in this, because this is kind of just a starter pack, so you're not going to need more than the 6, I don't think. But they look exactly like the originals. Actually, they don't. No, the skull is slightly different. So that is a different symbol. So here we have on the right an original symbol, and here we have on the left the updated symbol. So notice the difference. On the right here you have actually a fair bit of kind of squiggliness on the mouth, I guess, portion of the skull, and then this is a lot more uniform. So that's basically just straight lines. The skull shape is slightly different. This is a little bit more, I don't know, balloonish maybe. And it juts out a little bit on the left and right here. That nose section is a little bit different, and then this looks like the eye sections are wider. Notice how that's and actually the eye sections are uniform. So this is a much more uniform design. Notice how this eye section is slightly different on the logo than this side, and these lines are kind of squiggly, so those aren't uniform either. So this is a asymmetric logo. This is like completely symmetrical. You draw it down the middle of the line, both sides are the same. So worth noting. The shields, yeah, almost exactly the same. So on the right is the original. This is actually, I think I like this better. I'll be honest. I actually do think the defense symbol is an improvement. I'm not I actually don't like the new skull symbol. I think this is a lot better. This feels too uniform. I do like the aspects of this that make it kind of, you know, different on each side and a little bit less uniform. So the original skull I like better, but I actually think I like the new shield better. It's wider. Note the angles is a bit weird when it's going up and then kind of angles down. I kind of like that it angles almost straight out. This feels a little bit better to me. I actually like the symbol for the shield better. So worth noting that there are some slight changes to the combat dice as well. For the most part, though, you know, you're rolling it and you know you're just gonna see red and blue. It's not gonna be a huge deal, but again, worth noting. D20 is just kind of your standard D20. Nothing to really note there. I do like these little plastic bags they come in though. These are actually nice little plastic bags. Okay, order markers. These, ooh, I like these. The color of these looks great. That is a nice purple. Wow. I really like that purple. And they actually feel bigger. Let me grab a set. 1, 2, 3X. So I'm just gonna grab these blue Marvel ones. So you know you're getting basically the original order markers. So let's do a comparison here. Okay, actually no, they're the same. It just says because they're newer that they feel bigger. But no, actually those are exactly the same. Okay. Very cool. I do think the numbers might be bigger. No, actually those do seem... Okay, so for the 2 they are. Yeah, so this 2 is bigger and a little bit more defined. Same with the 3. Yeah, see how that's slightly different? The X, a little bit bigger. Slightly the same, or almost exactly the same, but slightly bigger. So I actually really like these. I think the 1, 2, 3 and the X are a little bit more defined. I do like that. And they feel new and good. And that purple, I really like that purple. Feels a lot like the D&D order markers, but a slightly different color. I really like that. So there's 2 sets of those. So that's awesome. And let's see what else we get. We get the army cards. We've seen these before. Okay, so these look exactly like the digital renderings that that they sent beforehand. Initial reactions. You know, it's growing on me. I still think they're a little bit too plain in my opinion, but it does look like actually in Fiabani they added some weathering. Before, I think these were all just completely straight colored lines. Notice how they've kind of added some weathering. So I'll try to show you here. See on the edges, and with like Fiabani, there's like some sort of vine or something there. Revna. Let's see, Aquila. Yeah, so like it's still pretty plain, but I think overall looks pretty good. Now let's compare with an original. So let's look at like the Morrow Hive original. Let's go ahead and just check size. So size is exactly the same. Okay, looks good. And, oh, interesting. Okay, look at that stat block on the right. Notice how much smaller this is. Interesting. So this is actually significantly bigger than this. See that? See how much more space this takes up? Now, I think that's obvious why they did that is because it's not as important to have just a stat block of showing base level stats be so big when you can save that space for wording, and that's exactly what they're doing here, right? Look at the difference in how much more space, white space there is to fill in wording versus here. But also the font, I think, is bigger here than here. So like if they did the same font for these abilities as here, honestly, they could probably still fit it in this same space, but like they're trying to prioritize, right? They want the words big so we know how to read the abilities and everyone can read them, whereas the numbers aren't as important because those are pretty straightforward. So that kind of makes sense. Me and I know a lot of people don't like that there's no lines. I actually would have preferred the lines. I think that does a good job of kind of dividing up the different left block stats, so I think I would have still preferred that. Notice the new symbols. Also notice its name and then Utgar in the original, whereas now it's Utgar and it's left, and this is centered, and this is moved over to the left margin, and then you have the name. So there is a difference in the way that they decided to design that. Also note, again, in Utgar, you've got these little, vine things kind of here and coming around here. There's a vine here, and there's this kind of jutting out of, I don't know, something coming across, kind of containing this left block stat. There's all these vines on the left and right. So there is a lot more detail on the edge of the card, and this is almost purely plain color with a little bit of weathering. And we knew this. We saw cards, we saw digital images, but again, we're just seeing it live here for the first time. So something to keep in mind. And then the basic side actually looks really good. I really like that symbol, how big that is. I think that's really cool. So you can, obviously you can see it here, but this seems a little bit more defined. I like that. Yeah, I think the basic side looks good too. Okay. That's Bach Bernard. Yeah, Fiabani, we won't bother reading through the cards. We've already done that for a lot of these and looked at them and seen them for a while now. I do really like the new Valkyrie symbols. Overall, looking really good. I still do hate that we're doing this. I get it, but I don't like it. I really like having the words. It just feels finished and more full. Again, I get why we're doing it. It just, I don't like it personally. It feels like it was a mistake. You know, when you have all the other abilities spelled out, but that one's not. I almost would have rather they just do like a flying symbol down here or something, because special abilities and powers, in my opinion, just should be spelled out. So that's me. Yeah, this is, the cards look good. So yeah, those are the cards. All right, so cards are done. And now we are looking at the inserts. Okay. Game contents, inserts. This talks about scenario play, contents, miniatures, warriors, Valhalla. This is the bios. Okay, more content stuff. It looks like. Okay, so these are. Oops. Okay, so these are the scenarios. How to build the maps, which actually looks pretty good. Again, that's the jungle tree there, attached to 3 hexes and attached to 3 hexes. So when we build that, we're gonna have to see how that pans out, if that's gonna be flush or not. It looks like there are 1, 2, 3 scenario. No, that's scenario 1 and 2. Oh, this is the map. Okay, so you're building the map. This is the scenario. You're building the map. This is the scenario. Okay, so scenarios, there's 3 scenarios. Okay, got it. Okay, and then the round marker track. That's cool. Okay. And that's basically it. Oh, and then the last scenario. And then, I'm not sure what this is. My guess is this probably has to do with something in the special rules. I haven't read through this, so I don't know. But I don't think that... Yeah, you see that hasn't shown up for any of these other scenarios. So this, if I were to guess, is probably part of this special scenario that I'm not familiar with yet. So, okay. So that's the game contents, and then this is just the rule book. So we'll see, but I'm assuming that the rule book comes in all the packs except for, I guess, the Takala one. The art looks great. We've got the introduction. Whoops. What else we got here? We've got, okay, so ready to play stuff. The battle begins. Yeah, it's basically modeling the same as the original rule book, with using the examples. Okay, yep, they're showing the hit zones and the targeting. Easy enough. And they're just showing examples of the different movement abilities. Yeah, okay. No, this is good. This is good. It feels very crisp, very clean. I like it. I'll have to read back through and just verify that, again, all the examples and the powers and whatnot are being explained correctly, but it's pretty much, for the most part, looking good. What's next? Okay, they just show, obviously, the next stuff. Cool. And then different Heroscape art. Nice. All right, actually, let's see. Did they give credit to the community anywhere? Well, Craig Van Ness. Hey, okay, hey, look at this. Very cool. Original Age of Annihilation game design. Craig Van Ness, Ben Harris. That's Dadscaper. Adam Tarr, that's Doc. Rod Phelps and Don Zimmerman, I'm not 100% sure. Tanner Harlow is Vegetarian 18. Nathan Spear is Super Frog. And then Kevin Daly is Kevin Dola. So they did give us some good community nods here, which is great. It looks like additional consulting doc as well. Oh, playtesters, awesome. And the playtesters are all named through here. I think they did announce and show this previously, but again, just calling it out that you know, they've provided some just showing how the community has been a part of this, which is awesome. Renegade Game Designs. Okay, very cool. Well, that's great. Okay, so there we have it. Great unboxing for the Battle Box set. Hope that was helpful to see the live unboxing of the Age of Annihilation Battle for the Wellspring pre-painted set. Again, for those of you that haven't purchased it, by all means go on to Renegade Studios and grab yourself a set. You can use my affiliate link in the description or here. Again, that's a great way to just help support the channel, all the while buying awesome Heroscape. So tune into the other unboxing videos here on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully that was helpful, and we will see you guys next time.